Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. We have a jam-packed full show tonight here. We got Bruce Pearl retiring. We got Mike Gundy getting fired. We got SEC schedule reveals. We got it all right here on the Big Fuss Show.
Can I please have your attention?
What's all the commotion around here?
What are you talking about?
Let them yap at you.
It's actually very exciting.
Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with the College Sportscast, and we're here to do the Big Fuss Show tonight. I've got John Hammonds on here with me. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's been a wild 24 hours in the world of college sports.
It has, my man. It has.
It has.
It has.
All right. We're going to jump into that in just a minute. If you're with us on Facebook, we appreciate you. We have been growing tremendously, but you can help support us by sending stars or by subscribing for just 99 cents a month. It does help us earn a little bit of money to keep making content for you guys. So we appreciate that if you do. If you are on Facebook with us, please like, follow, and subscribe. If you are on YouTube with us, we appreciate you as well. Like and subscribe, share, give us a comment, and we appreciate you as well. John, we got a jam-packed show tonight, man. There is so much stuff going on in the world of college sports that it is absolutely crazy. So, we usually open our show up with the new AP poll. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's go with this would be week 5 of college football, the AP poll.
Yeah, it's number 1's Ohio State. Number 2 is Miami. They moved up.
Yep.
3 is Penn State. 4 is LSU. 5 is Georgia. 6 is Oregon, 7 is Oklahoma, 8 is Florida State, 9 is A&M, Texas, 10 is Texas, 11 is Indiana. They moved up 8 spots this week, Brad.
Yeah.
Beating Illinois is the way they did Saturday night. 12 is Texas Tech. They moved up 5 spots. 13 was Ole Miss. 14 is Iowa State. 15, staying the same, was Tennessee. 16 is Georgia Tech. They moved up 2 spots. Alabama dropped spots at 17. 18 was Vanderbilt, moving up 2 spots. 19 is Michigan. 20 is Missouri. 21 is USC. They moved up 4 spots. 22 was Notre Dame. They moved up 2 spots. 23 was Illinois. They dropped 14 spots after their loss Saturday night. 24 was TCU. And then number 25 to round it out is BYU.
Yeah, I mean, golly, John, you talking about the Indiana-Illinois game, man. I think they're still running up the score on them, to be honest with you.
That was pretty tough to watch, let's say.
I mean, wow. That's all I got to say.
Especially if you're an Illini fan.
I mean, that was very unexpected for me. I'll be honest with you. It was in Bloomington. I thought maybe Indiana would win, but Lord have mercy, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, not really many major surprises here. Except maybe Indiana moving up 8 spots. Texas Tech moving up 5. We live in a world, Brad, where Vanderbilt is ranked number 18. What kind of world are we living in? we're in the twilight zone. I can just tell you. Auburn, I think, dropped out. Mississippi State had some votes this week. Utah dropped out after the loss to Texas Tech. So, hey, you got to win these games, and you can't lose like you did Saturday night in Bloomington and expect to stay in the top 10, top 15.
I'll be surprised after that beat down. I mean, I know they were ranked 9th, but after that beat down, I'm surprised they stayed in the poll at all.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, to be honest.
I mean, we're not talking about a regular loss here. They lost 63-10 to Indiana. I mean, wow. So, I mean, just absolutely just, I mean, slaughtered them, to be honest with you. So, all right, we're going to get to some opening news and hot topics here. There is a lot to kind of get to. And I guess the first one we're going to open up with football. This was a big news today. Mike Gundy was fired from Oklahoma State. Now, Mike Gundy was in his 21st year as the Cowboys head coach, and Oklahoma State is his alma mater.
Yeah, I mean, he was there more than 2 decades. The second longest tenured football coach. The last 2 years have not been good, Brad. They've been mediocre. It was 3-9 last year. They started out this year 1-2. Now I think the offensive coordinator Doug Meacham is probably going to be the interim coach going forward for the Cowboys. Listen, you can say what you want to. Gundy did some really good things for Oklahoma State. 8 double-digit win seasons, a Big 12 title, 18 bowl appearerances. He had 5 New Year's Six bowl.
18 consecutive bowl appearances too.
Yeah. We had a really good quarterback in Mason Rudolph in 18. Hubbard, the running back, a couple years ago? He was really good. Had some really good teams. But I felt
we live in a world where a guy, John, he was 170-90 as a coach. 170 wins, 90 losses. Now, I agree with you. The last 15 games, he was 4-11 in his last 15 games. He was 3-9 and 1-2. He was 4-11 in his last 15 games, and they looked pitiful. I mean, Oregon. I was just sitting talking about the Indiana game. Oregon beat them 69-3, so it was even a little bit worse than what Indiana did to Illinois.
Well,
I get it.
And two, go ahead.
I'm just saying, but man, we live in a world where if it's not right now, I mean, you're talking about a guy who changed an entire culture for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, and in 15 games they fired him.
Well, I think too, you got to realize the changing of the guard. The landscape of college football. The rise of NIL, the whole portal. I felt like Gundy was having a hard time trying to adapt to that. What made Oklahoma State probably one of the top teams in the Big 12, they had to give up some roster turnover. There's a lot of frustration there.
60 new players on this team that's 1-2. 60.
And I'll be honest with you, as bad as the last 2 years was, I don't think Oklahoma would have been able to reach where they are without Mike Gundy. Before Mike Gundy got there, Oklahoma was not good.
Oklahoma State
was not good.
Yeah,
and he turned that program around. Boone-Pickens Stadium, he turned that into a really tough environment to play in.
Competitive. And, 10 plus win seasons, 18 bowls in 21 years.
You can't top that. That's hard to do.
What do they expect that they're going to get in the next 20 years with whoever they hire? Honestly.
Yeah, the timing, I'm going to be honest with you. The timing of this puts them in a very weird position. They're 1-2. They got a really big slate of football still to play.
And here's what I want to say. John, and you're going to hear this. Well, they needed to go ahead and fire him so they could get a jump on, the next hire. That's a crock of bullcrap, okay? Because all the good coaches are coaching somewhere. You can't contact them during the season. They're not going to talk to you unless you're going to go out and hire Ed Ogeron or somebody that's not coaching.
Yeah.
I
think you put them in another position where, you're going to have a 30-day window for the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And you might not have enough players to play. We said that. What was it with the coach
last week on last week.
Who was the coach that got fired last week? It was
it was Virginia Tech and UCLA. Deshaun Foster
coach. So I mean, you put this program in a weird position because they got a loaded slate on their schedule.
Yep.
And you're expecting miracles, right in the middle of the year. I mean, what's already a questionable year.
100%.
I don't know, Brad. To me, I feel like if they were going to do it, they should have done it.
Knew that he was probably done. They were not he was not coaching them up. I knew that he was probably done. I just am not sure in this day and age with the transfer portal window and firing a coach this early in the season. I'm just not sure that that's the correct play.
I'm with you. I don't think it's right, but at the same time, we live in a new world, Brad, and
I think it's going to come back to bite one or two of these teams that do this early.
We live in a microwave society.
When 50 players off of one of these teams enter the transfer portal, I think it's going to come back to bite them.
It is. I agree.
All right, John, there is one bit of sad news here that I just want to hit on real quick and talk about. I think it was yesterday morning. UCF Central Florida assistant former Appalachian State head coach Sean Clark died at 50 years old, kind of a little bit unexpectedly. They were coming off of a win and, get this news. And I just wanted to bring it up real quick here at College SportsCast and say that we absolutely send our condolences to his family and the UCF family, Appalachian State as well. It's sad news.
Most definitely.
So just want to put that out there. And then also the ACC is aligning with a 9-game schedule. So now all the power conferences moving forward in 2026 and beyond will have 9-game schedules. They also are going to require 1 game to out of conference, power conference, just like what the SEC is doing and a couple of the other conferences here. I think what this is going to do, John, is it's going to align things up to possibly go to a 16-team playoff.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for college football. It's basically you're going from little schools to the power conferences, SEC, ACC. It's just going to be power football anymore. And to be honest, the little schools are going to be kind of left out to dry, unfortunately, when it comes to these things. But
I mean, basically, you got a 12-game schedule. 10 of them are going to be against power conferences. That only leaves two teams for each one of these teams to play outside of the power conferences, and that's all you're going to see.
Yeah.
But as a fan, it's good to see you should get good football week after week after week.
You should. They have 16 members, I think.
17. The ACC.
Why don't they just count the games against Notre Dame? Since we're looking at
they will. They will count. I mean, that'll be one of their out of conference power conference games for the teams
but they're not a member though, is what I'm saying.
No, not for football. They are for other sports, but not for football.
You probably could pay Notre Dame to add more ace, or you could invite a team like Memphis that has a realistic chance at going to a college football playoff this year. I just think, going from this 9 game slate is a really huge deal. And I think, maybe adding a team like Memphis in this and, maybe giving Notre Dame and making them a member would be a great opportunity for them.
All right, John, we got a few things here that I know we're going to spend a little time on. This is going to be one of them. I'm going to move this into our pick six segment. Okay. And I'm going to take this off and we're going to talk about 4 weeks in. We're going to talk about college football playoff bubble watch teams after week 4. We are a quarter of the way into the season because everybody plays. It's about 15 weeks actually. So we're about a quarter into the season here, John. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I just want some bubble teams. I know that there are teams like Ohio State and a few teams, that look like they probably could make it. But give me some teams that you are interested in watching that you think could make the college football playoff. That would be a surprise.
Indiana again. I think they're right there. Georgia Tech would be another one. I think they have the third best title odds to reach the ACC championship game. It's hard to imagine excluding them if they get into the ACC runner-up situation. From a college football playoff. I think maybe 3 teams could get in there. Florida State, Miami is the other 2. I'm going to name a team that a lot of people haven't said yet is Syracuse. They go into Clemson, they beat.
Well, they got a big one this week if they're going to do that.
Now they gotta figure out their quarterback situation. That's going to be tough. Losing their star quarterback. They lost to Tennessee. They beat Clemson on the road. Now they do face Georgia Tech. They got trips to Miami and Notre Dame still to go. They're going to have to do it with their backup. Ricky Collins, I think he's an LSU transfer. But I think they're kind of a long shot, Brad, honestly.
Yeah.
But I would put them in there.
SEC, I'm going to throw out a few teams, and you tell me yay or nay. I'm going to throw out a few teams in the SEC. Texas A&M.
Yay.
I think they, outside looking in right now, I think they're a good one. Ole Miss.
Yay and nay. It all depends. The whole quarterback situation. Now that Chambliss is playing, he's really outplaying Simmons.
Yep, he has been so far. I think the last 2 weeks or the first 2 weeks.
It all depends. Going down the stretch, they got some tough games still to play.
Missouri.
Yay, because their schedule. I've said it since preseason. Their schedule fits in. Now, they might have one loss. Now, they do face Alabama, which they get Alabama at home, but that's a winnable game, I think, even at home with the talent that they got at running back with Hardy and Prabula and, that team. They got a really good team, Missouri. They beat a really good South Carolina team, I thought, Saturday night, and they're doing some things.
LSU.
Nay.
All right. How about Vandy?
Well, nay. I think Vandy's schedule's getting ready to get pretty rough after Utah State.
All right. I mean, that's fair. But these are some undefeated teams that's still in the SEC.
I said nay to LSU because of their offense. Their defense probably could play with anybody. Baker is probably one of the best defense coordinators in the country, but man, you got to score.
Yep.
And
all right. Did I leave anybody out out of the SEC? I mean, besides your Georgia, Texas, Alabama, I'm not talking about them just yet.
And I'll be honest, that Clemson win's not looking too good now.
It's not. All right, Big 12, Texas Tech.
Yay. I think there's a good chance there.
Of course, I'm not going to put Iowa State in this because I think they're kind of a leader right now in the Big 12. So, but how about BYU?
Nay.
What about Utah, even though they just took a loss to Texas Tech?
Nay. Utah does not look good at all.
I'm trying to think out of the Big 12. Was there another team out of the Big 12 that I should mention?
I don't think so. Maybe TCU.
Yeah, TCU.
I don't think they're going to have to really, they got a game at Arizona State this weekend, so they're going to have to really run some wins off if they want to get.
All right. Big Ten. I mean, we already said Indiana. I think Illinois was before this past week. And after that beatdown, I don't see how you could put Illinois in, to be honest with you. I just don't see it.
I'm going to give you one more team. North Texas. And I'm going to because, they beat Washington State. They beat Army.
Yeah.
They've
been playing well. Memphis as well. Memphis is one to watch. I still think Tulane could be. They played Memphis and a few of these teams. So I still think Tulane did beat Duke before they lost to Ole Miss.
I'm going to go a little farther with this. So North Texas has only really 2 tough games left, okay?
Yeah.
South Florida and Navy. You win those 2, you got a great opportunity.
Yep, absolutely.
South Florida beat Boise. They beat Florida, which Florida's not as great now, but it still looks good on your resume. They dismantled Washington State. What's happening out there is what I want to know. You letting a lower tier school whip you like that on the gridiron?
I don't know, man. I really don't know the answer to some of these questions because it's been happening, a few of these teams that's been happening like that. So, but all right, John, we're going to get to something here. I'm going to try to put this up on the screen here. We're going to get to the SEC. They just about an hour and a half ago had their reveal for their 9-game schedule. I've got a few things here that I'm going to try to get pulled up. I'm going to see what this does. So give me just a second here, and I'm going to change the screen. I don't think everybody's going to be in this. I don't think it's going to fit in the screen. I needed to resize it. I was doing all this at the last minute here. But these are the 3 teams for a lot of the schools. This thing shows it all, but on this screen, you can't see it all. I needed to resize this. But this is the 3 teams for a lot of schools there, John. I don't know if you got to watch the reveal, but man, the SEC, I think, got this right. I think the SEC is strength of schedule is going to be very close for all of these teams. Everybody's going to have a tough schedule.
Well,
I think they honored the rivalries as best as they possibly could. I think the SEC done a great job here. What do you think?
Well, you look at some of the ones here. You got Auburn, got to keep Alabama and Georgia. Those are 2 big-time rivalries. Florida got to keep Kentucky and Georgia. The cocktail party game, that's always a huge game in Jacksonville. Tennessee got to keep Vanderbilt and Kentucky, and they also got to keep Alabama the 3rd Saturday in October, which I love. South Carolina and Georgia get to stay playing with each other. Oklahoma kept Texas. overall, I feel like they got these right. Like you said, they honored the rivalries. The only thing that I didn't see, I saw some of the schedules, but I did see Kentucky's schedule for next year.
Yeah.
They play at Texas A&M, at Oklahoma,
I'm
home.
going to put this up on the screen. This is actually the next 4 years. Again, these needed to be resized. I'd done this like 5 minutes before we come on. I didn't have time to fit all this in. But this is Kentucky's schedule for 26, 27, 28, and 29.
They play Florida I guess it's at home again, or is that on the road? I can't see it.
Let's see.
It's at Florida. Oh, it's at home. That's right. And then they go to South Carolina, go to Tennessee, play Alabama at home, LSU at home, Vanderbilt at home. They go to Georgia or go to Missouri, go to A&M, and then they go to Oklahoma. Okay. Listen, I thought this, I actually think this is not as tough schedule as I thought it would be. I actually think this year's harder.
Yeah. I like the way this is. Listen, John, I was really, really worried, and I have been for over a year, that Kentucky, because Kentucky is a basketball school and all these other schools are football schools, I thought Kentucky would get the shaft and we would get like Missouri and Vandy and we wouldn't even get the Tennessees and the Floridas and the, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm really happy that we get to keep some of our main rivals.
I'll be honest with you.
There's been a rival for me my entire life. Because I've watched these. I've went to these games. I've been a huge fan since I was a 6-7-year-old boy, and I'm just really happy that Kentucky got to keep some of these rivalries.
Yeah, I am too. And they get to go to Arkansas the year after next.
Yeah, so like I said, I didn't get to resize these, so you can't really see the 2028 and 29 schedules, and the very top of the next two are not there. But on this one, if you look closely, you can see the top. You just can't see the bottom on this one. So this is Kentucky's schedules for the next 4 years.
We miss Texas and Georgia next year, which I think is odd that we normally don't. We usually get Georgia. And
there's a few of them. Listen, the SEC couldn't do it all. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. When I was looking at the thing, when I was doing the reveal, Tennessee and Florida do not play next year. Like, that's so odd to me. Like, Kentucky and Georgia do not play next year. Like, it's just, it feels so odd and wrong to me, to be honest.
In a way, yeah.
I mean, there's a few of them. LSU and Alabama do not play as a full-time rival, every year rival. There's LSU and Alabama. I mean, LSU and Auburn don't play every year as a rival. I mean, there is a few games here, but now here's the deal. What is good about this is that every 4 years, you will get every team home and away. John, me and you have mentioned this a dozen times on this show over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M has been in the conference since 2012. Texas A&M has never played in Lexington.
Mm-mm. And the only time we played A&M was in the year, I think, we went to the Citrus Bowl.
I'm gonna say that again, man. This would be 14 years. Texas A&M has never played in Lexington. That's insane. To be in conference.
Oklahoma hasn't played here in a while either.
Well, Oklahoma's only been in the league 2
To be fair,
years.
they've only been in the league 2 years, but
They've
still.
only been in the league 2 years, but Texas A&M's been there a long, long time. And what
They've been here a while.
is good, what I'm saying here is what is good about these schedules is that you get to see and play these teams and go to their house and they come to your house at least one time every 4 years. So
It's not happening with A&M.
that is a good deal. You know,
There was a streak. I think there was a streak there where A&M they hadn't even been to Tennessee up until last year.
right. They hadn't. You know, A&M got South Carolina, I think, back when we had that one East-West rivalry game.
Mm-hmm.
And that game never felt like a rivalry between
Not
South
really.
Carolina and A&M. You know?
Really?
Here's another one. Again, I couldn't get the in time so I could have them resized.
Did A&M keep Arkansas?
Yes.
The reason I say that is because they used to be in the Southwest Conference.
Yes.
That's an actual rivalry.
Yeah, it is. A&M, let's see. No. I take that back. Arkansas got Texas, LSU, I believe,
In Missouri.
and Missouri.
I don't like I like the whole Missouri. I like the Texas. But
Yeah.
I feel like A&M is a big rivalry between those two because they played a lot in the Southwestern Conference.
A&M got LSU, Texas, I'm trying to think who the other one is that A&M got.
I don't understand the Auburn and Vandy one though. Maybe that's me, but
Well, let me tell you why I think they got Vandy. Auburn is the only school out of the 16 that got Georgia and Alabama as their rivals. They're the only school that has to play Georgia and Alabama every year. So to be fair, I think they got Vandy because Vandy's normally towards the bottom.
Yep.
So, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I get what you're saying.
So, you know, these schedules and stuff. Here's the deal, John, and I want to talk about this for just a few minutes. I will try to get me and you back up here where you can kind of see us a little bit better on the screen as we talk here, and just leave that up behind us. But here's the deal with these schedules. So the College Football Playoff Committee, before this season started, said they were going to have a new adjusted strength of schedule metric. And that kind of opened the door for the SEC to say, yeah, if you're going to weigh the strength of schedule more, we're not afraid to play a harder schedule, add a game, get $500,000 for each team to add a game or whatever it's going to be. And the strength of schedule here is going to be very tough for each and every school. Here's the thing, John. The committee's going to have to honor their word because when you look at these schedules and go 9 games plus a power conference game and play in 10 games, there's not too many schools that's going to run through these and go undefeated.
No. That's what I don't understand when people say that, they talk about the SEC and talk about how they could do over on this side of the pasture. Like, you go up against this every single week, mind you, you're probably going to get a couple cupcake games like Kentucky and I'm not saying Kentucky. I'm talking about like their cupcake games like Eastern Michigan, you're going to get a few non-con games that you're going to
There's
win.
only room. There's only room for 2 now after
There's
this.
only room for 2. That's what I'm saying. And then you have to go up against the loaded back half of a SEC schedule. Like, come on over to the SEC and play.
Well, I mean, you look at the games that's going on in the Big Ten right now. Go look at some of these games. I mean, Northwestern plays who this week?
UCLA.
I rest my case. I mean, come on now.
Exactly.
I mean,
a UCLA team that is on the brink of,
I mean, Lord have mercy. I mean, come on now. That's all I got to say. I mean, you look at some of the games that's in the Big Ten right now compared to the schedules. Go look at these schedules and these games. There's no hiding. There's no hiding in these games. You can't run and hide, all right? And here's another thing out of this 9-game schedule, John, that I want to ask you about that I don't think is getting nearly enough pub, okay? Here's another thing. Every other year with a 9-game schedule, every team is going to have 5 SEC road games. John, how tough is it in the SEC on the road?
It's tough.
You're adding a road game. 5 every other year.
I'll say this on the Kentucky part of it. You got the annual Louisville game, right? It's most likely a toss-up game most years. Now the SEC has paved the way to allow schools like UK to play its traditional rival, right?
Yep.
Well, they're all actually wanting them to play one non-conference game against a Power 4 opponent. I think Florida kept Florida State, South Carolina, Clemson, Georgia Tech. That may be great, but Kentucky might need to schedule a Power 4 opponent where winning is in their favor. And I say that because Louisville is a toss-up game. You can't have any more toss-up games in this schedule.
Well, I mean, who do you get? Northwestern?
Well, you get a team like somebody like Wake Forest, Purdue, maybe Cincinnati. I'm not saying that they would go undefeated against those kind of teams, but they'll win some of those games. A team like Rutgers, maybe. But
I mean, Cincinnati wouldn't be a bad one because they are regional. Well, I mean, Cincinnati's a regional, very close, to Lexington to Cincinnati as a rival. I mean, Cincinnati wouldn't be a bad option.
Well, and people forget Kentucky played Cincinnati quite a bit in the 90s when they had Mo Williams. There was a couple of games where they played, I think, one at home.
I'll give you that. Cincinnati would make a little more sense. Indiana would make sense, but right now, Cincinnati's got them playing out of this world. So I don't know if you want to do that or not.
Try it. Well, I thought about that. The Indiana series, revive it, but
I mean,
with the way they're going,
I don't know if you want to do that or not. Ask Illinois about that.
Wow.
I mean, Lord have mercy. But I mean, I agree with you.
I just feel like
I'm not against. Here's my thing, John. I'm not against the idea of maybe alternating years for the Kentucky-Louisville rivalry.
Yeah, to see what I'm saying, scheduling, I think, a more winnable game becomes
I'm not saying do away with the Louisville-Kentucky rivalry. I'm saying that maybe it could be every other year, and then you could fit another power conference team in that maybe you could win every other year, and kind of have a few more options, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think it also, the way Mark Stoops has done it has, they've had those 3 MAC games, and it's basically got him to 8 consecutive bowl game when it did. Well, last year the streak was snapped, but that's what's got him to where he's at.
8 consecutive bowls. Yes.
Yeah, that's what he's got. That's what's got him. But now you throw in a toss-up game like Louisville with the 9-game schedule, becomes even difficult, Brad. And you don't want a toss-up game to depend on your bowl season. I think you get a team, say like I said, a team like Rutgers, a team like
Cincinnati,
Western Kentucky, just somebody that you've not played and that can give you that extra win, I think.
Well, you can't do Western because they're not a Power 4 conference
They're
team.
not a Power 4. But maybe for a non-conference game, like for
the regular non-conference,
yeah, because they used to play Western quite a bit back when I think they played Stoops' first year, I believe, in Nashville.
Yeah, I believe so.
I was at that game, actually. Lost it. Lost to Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
I remember that game.
You bring up some awfully good memories, boy, I tell you.
I do, don't I, right? Oh, mercy.
I'm telling you, man.
Oh, me.
All right, guys. I am going to switch it up. I've got a few things here that's pretty big to talk about that is non-football related, to be honest with you. But we're going to move to a couple of those. So last night, big news. I mean, really big news in the world of college basketball. Auburn's head coach, Bruce Pearl, just abruptly retired last night. Now, there had been some rumors about him in the offseason since the end of last year, but none of it really seemed to be taking, anybody really taking any notice to it. Mm-hmm. He had been rumored to even run for the Senate seat down there in Alabama, a lot of things, but it was still kind of surprising to see him abruptly retire last night. What did you think?
I watched the video of him, the 14-minute video.
I did too, the whole thing.
He just looked tired. He just looked beat down and wore out. And I think I
didn't realize it, but he's 65. He's 65 years old.
He kept saying it was just time. And I feel like that's, he was at Auburn 11 years, 2 Final Fours. He has a 706, 268 record.
Yep.
Started coaching at Southern Indiana. I think won a title with Southern Indiana.
He did.
Division
II title.
Went from there. He went to Milwaukee. They won the Horizon League while he was there. I think they went to the NCAA tournament in 2005, I believe. Went to Tennessee, had a really good career at Tennessee, 145 and 61, 6 years at Knoxville. He went to the tournament each year he was there. Now he was fired there, I think, because of a recruiting violation. He had a 3-year show clause, which put him out of coaching for a little bit. Then he came to Auburn.
Auburn took a chance on him while his show clause was not completely finished, to be honest.
He had a really great record at Auburn. He reached the Final Four in 19 and 25.
Yeah.
Like you said, his tenure also had a short suspension. I think it was a compliance situation, I think.
It was with the Tennessee stuff and the recruiting violations.
And now he has his son going to take over for him.
That's another thing we're going to get to about it is that his son, Steven, has been his top assistant there for quite some time. is taking over, not just as interim coach here, John. They gave Stephen Pearl, a 38-year-old Stephen Pearl, who's been his top assistant, but they gave him a 5-year contract.
Yeah, and see, here's another thing that really don't make sense to me, Brad, is he's coming off probably one of the better seasons that he's ever had.
He is.
They was the number 1 overall seed.
They were number 1 overall seed, made the Final Four.
Coach of the year, co-coach of the year. It seemed like, if not win, was Pearl really going to win a title? And it was
I guess that's part of the reason why I wanted to go out on top. I mean, really.
Auburn
as close to the top as you can get.
Well, and sometimes people forget Auburn before Pearl. There wasn't a lot of great Auburn teams. Now they had a few teams with Cliff Ellis
here and there.
Here and there. But it was never just dominant like they have been. Everybody probably wants to say, was it for political reasons? Now, he said he wasn't going to run for the U.S. Senate. Now, there's a lot of officials in Alabama.
Like I said, there's been some rumors about this for months. I don't think that had anything to do with this, but, I mean, you never know. We'll find out, I guess.
Well, and now Pearl finally gets his shot at the big leagues, Stephen Pearl.
Yeah. And my guess is, John, is that Bruce Pearl won't be too far away from the program.
No, he'll be around, but
when his son's taking over, I'm just guessing here, but I don't think Bruce Pearl will be too far away from the program.
No, he even mentioned it in his interview or his goodbye post that
video. Yeah,
won't be around. I look at this Stephen Pearl thing. He had a lot to do with this Auburn team,
recruiting and everything. Yeah.
He's a former player at Tennessee, 4-year letter winner. Played under his dad. Actually played with Chris Lofton. If most people don't remember, he was the star player for Tennessee, consensus 2-time All-American. I think he worked in medical sales a little bit. I think. And now he's embarking on a coaching career.
He's been under his dad. He's been under his dad for quite some time at Auburn. I don't know the exact amount of years, but
now he did serve as a acting head coach. I think it was in a game in place of Pearl, who was suspended for 2 games, I think.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's not really had a taste of head coaching
experience
on his resume.
Right.
Now, I will say he did recruit Jabari Smith, Isaac Okoro, Chuma Okiki, Walker Kessler. So, he's been around. He knows.
Yeah.
I think it's in good hands. I mean, anybody that watches Bruce Pearl knows what he's going to do. He's screaming, sweating.
He's fire. I mean, honestly.
Nose bloodying,
And that's the next thing I want to get to with this, John, is how does this reshape the SEC and the national conception of basketball for the SEC?
I don't think it really changes much. Auburn has a really good team coming in. Now,
I mean, Bruce Pearl, let's be honest, Bruce Pearl's kind of been a pain in the side for Kentucky for a lot of years.
And honestly, what really worries me is the transfer portal. I think they get a 30-day window. They do.
What concerns just like we were talking about in football.
Well, some of these players jump. That's my thing. But I don't think this close to the year. I think.
Well, I'm not sure how this has started, but yesterday was actually the first day of open practice for the 2025-2026 season. So there may be a clause in this. The reason why they waited till yesterday to do this is because the season has officially started. And once the season starts, they are not allowed to get in the transfer portal and play for a second team. They have to wait to the next year.
Well,
So
we've seen this happen. I mean, we've seen this happen with father son. You know, you had Dick and Tony Bennett at Washington State. Tony ended up going to Virginia.
Bob Knight's son, Pat.
Pat Knight. You had, I think, the Drews, Homer and Scott and Bryce.
Yeah, the Drews. Yeah,
the Drew family, and then you had Eddie and Sean Sutton at Oklahoma State. That was another one.
How could you forget that one?
You know, I think he took a medical leave, Eddie Sutton, and then he had no contest to a drunk driving charge.
I'm gonna be honest with you. There's not too many times where it really worked out great. To be honest,
no, not to be critical of what Auburn's doing, but you know, Auburn's got a good team coming in this year. I think, you know, they got the kid from where I'm from, LMU. They got him as a top recruit. He was a really good player over here at LMU. They got Pettiford back. So they're not barren. You know what I mean? They're going to have a great team. It's just, how does Stephen Pearl connect with these kids? And I think he connects with them pretty good because, you know, like I said, he's
been there and he's actually recruited these kids. So part of me says this has kind of been in the works and the plans. And here's another reason why I say that. Did you catch Chad Baker Mazzaro's tweet last night?
I did. I did. I caught that towards the end. Now you understand it, sis? I think he knew.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
I think he knew.
Yeah, I do too. So Chad Baker Mazzaro, who was one of the key factors on that Auburn team last year, the last 2 years, put his name in the portal and transferred out. And he took a lot of heat because he was tight with Bruce Pearl. And he took a lot of heat when he left Auburn. From the Auburn family fans, he took a lot of heat. And last night, what'd he say, John?
Now you understand.
He sent out a tweet and said, "Oh, now you understand." I mean, I thought it was pretty funny. I had to bring it up here today. I knew John would know. He pays attention to everything that's on Twitter. So I knew he would know, that he would see it. But I had to have a little fun. Chad Baker Mazzaro, all I'm going to say is I believe you, dude. I believe you. John's not going to say a word. All right, John. Sticking with basketball. I've got a few things here about basketball. Since we brought up basketball officially started practice yesterday. It's just around the corner. In about 3 weeks, we're going to be having some scrimmages and stuff going on. So let's get into some basketball topics here at College SportsCast. Can Ryan Odom bring back success at Virginia and the ACC?
I mean, yeah. You know, his dad was assistant at Virginia, and they had the historic win in 2018.
You know, last year, before the season started, their coach abruptly retired.
Yeah. He done real good things at UMBC. He upset Virginia as a 1 seed. Now, 7 years later.
Ironically, he upset Virginia as a 1 seed.
He did. And 7 years later, he's the head coach of Virginia. Yep. So hopefully he kind of adapts to where he goes from, you know, UMBC to Virginia. Virginia likes to play a lot of defense. They like to, you know, get up in your face, play hard-nosed. I think he'll bring that kind of pedigree to him. If you like offense at Virginia, I pity you.
Hey,
it's not been great. I just
it can't get much worse slow offense than what they had.
No, not at all.
Surely not. Surely it can't get worse.
And I think people don't realize that Odom, he also changed VCU. You know, he done some really good things at VCU, at UMBC. Like I said, he took him to March Madness, beat the number one seed UAV in 2018. He was an elite. He's an elite coach. His dad, Dave Odom. He had some really good teams at Wake Forest.
Absolutely.
So
he's got the pedigree. I mean, Ryan Odom's got the pedigree.
He had a career at South Carolina. He had some decent seasons with them. They had a tournament bid, 3 NITs. There's a lot of basketball in this family.
100%.
And seeing his dad,
John, Virginia is a team that at that level that they were at when they were getting to Final Fours, winning a national title, they helped propel the ACC. I put ACC here in this topic because the ACC has been down and they need a team or two to pick them back up and to kind of have at least 3 or 4 or 5.
He was 49-20 at VCU. He had some really great teams. Finished first in the Atlantic 10 conference race, spot in the NCAA tournament.
The ACC needs Virginia to bring back some success.
And I'll say this: he's a defense first guy. They go at a slow pace, but not to what Tony Bennett does. It's a little bit more off. They got a little bit more offensive game to it. There's a lot of individual matchups. They shoot a lot of high volume threes. He's kind of, I think it's sort of like the team that you had at Utah State with Stephen Ashworth. The way they played, their type of style. I think there's a little bit there. With all this said, it's nice to see a guy like Brian Odom get this job, seeing his dad play Duke and North Carolina back in the day as a head coach. And people forget that his dad coached Tim Duncan.
100% at Wake.
Randolph Childers. So their family is not, away. They probably forgot more basketball than me and you'll ever.
Might even coach Chris Paul. Did he coach Chris Paul?
No. I think that was Chip Prosser. That coached Chris Paul.
Well, I mean, it was around that time, close.
I just think he's a really good hire. It's not – listen, Brad, it's not a great job in the landscape of college basketball, okay? Let's put it there. It took someone like Tony Bennett, a guy that had been under his dad at Washington State. They won the title in 2019. So – yeah,
but here's the deal. He took that and built a pretty damn good program at Virginia and abruptly retired. This is kind of falling in line with the Auburn thing. Of course, Auburn already has Stephen Pearl there, but now this is Ryan Odom's first year taking over for Tony Bennett, really. I mean, and can he find success and bring back what the Cavaliers had done for the last 5, 6, 8 years under Tony Bennett?
But the tough part about all this is you're running up against teams like North Carolina, Duke, teams that are improved, Clemson. Trying to think of another team.
Louisville is probably on the up and up in the ACC. Yeah,
I mean, they're going to be running up against some tough competition this year, and I think with the hire of Ryan Odom,
NC State has had they got a good coach now with Wade. Will Wade.
Yeah. But I think he can. I think he can. He took VCU from where they are to now, they won the Atlantic 10 last year, made a tournament appearance. I mean, they've had some really good teams at VCU. So going from there to Virginia is kind of a step up because the competition, in the Atlantic 10, you don't have a lot of competition. Let's be honest. There's maybe 2 or 3 teams you're probably going to knock off, and that's it.
Dayton,
but you got the ACC, you got 3 or 4 or 5 teams that you got to kind of leapfrog over. So, but yeah, I think he can do a really great job. I think he's a good fit for Virginia.
All right, John, I thought that was a good topic for us to hit on basketball. These are kind of ACC themed tonight. Akeem Olajuwon's son committed to Stanford. He is a top 40 recruit. And Stanford is another school that was trying to find a new home, has been kind of out of place. Their sports programs have kind of fallen off because of things. They have found a home away from home all the way across in the ACC. John, what do you think getting Akeem Olajuwon's son means to a school like Stanford Cardinal?
I think it says a lot. His dad's a former #1 overall pick, probably one of the greatest centers of all time. Let's be honest.
And Houston was one of the schools that was hot after this kid, of course, because that's where Akeem Olajuwon played ball.
Yeah.
And Houston wanted him, and he decided to go and play for Stanford. That says a lot to me.
It does, and his dad won 2 NBA titles, won an MVP award, 2 NBA Finals MVPs. He was the consensus first-team All-American, the NCAA Final Four most outstanding player in his career at Houston.
Easily a top 5 center ever in the history of NBA.
Ever.
Center.
I even put him up there with Lou Alcindor.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people probably will think, well, Lou Alcindor was on a different, but it was
go
a different
check out if you're young enough that you've never seen the Dream Shake, go check it out.
Yeah, you want to watch it shake. I can tell you.
I'm telling you, he had a move that was nearly unstoppable. Go ask Shaq about the Dream Shake.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. That was his name. That was his nickname.
Still,
now,
let's think about it though, Brad. He's still 18 years old.
I want to give a little credit to his son here. His son is a top 40 recruit. He's no scrub whatsoever, and he's a top 40 recruit. It means a lot to, I think, this Stanford team, to this school, with what has went on for the last 2 or 3 years, having to leave the Pac-12.
And also, he was ranked 40 in the ESPN Top 100s. He's a senior at IMG Academy, a big high school in Florida. Averaged 16.4 points a game. The thing that really gets me, though, is he took a leap of faith here. Stanford, they've not made the NCAA tournament in over a decade. But there's been a lot of former NBA stars walk through their doors.
Peja Stojakovic's son played there.
Yeah, so I think this is a really good fit. So
I just think it's really good for them. Listen, we're sitting here kind of talking about the ACC. Stanford is now in the ACC, and
look at the Boozer twins. Like, look at these kids that dads played. The Boozers ended up going to Duke, which where Carlos played. But you're seeing a lot of these kids kind of change direction and go other places instead of where their fathers played.
Yeah,
to make their own name, which I think is it's a highly thing to me. I think it's like top notch.
So congratulations to the Stanford Cardinal for securing this commitment. And I'm hopeful that we will see a little bit of rise in the ACC. The last few years has been kind of rough. And as a basketball fan, okay, I've been an SEC fan, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't. But man, it's basketball is so much better when the ACC has that rivalry with the rest of the country. I think it's better all around, and I will be glad to see the ACC kind of pick it up and not be near the bottom. The way they have been the last few years. All right, John, I do have one more basketball topic. This is on the women's game. I don't know if you caught this today, but Sue Bird announced the new head coach of Team USA for women's basketball as Kara Lawson, the Duke head coach. Kara Lawson, who played at Tennessee, by the way, and has done a fantastic job at Duke and was named USA basketball head coach today.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. You know, her former coach, Summit, coached this group.
Yep.
And Lawson was an All-American under Summit at Tennessee.
She was. She actually won a gold medal as a player in 2008, I believe, if I've got that right.
She began her coaching career in 2017. She said it to be a goal to become the head coach of the Olympic 5x5 team. Now, she coached the first U.S. Olympics 3x3 team at the Tokyo Games. I think they took a gold, I believe. She was assistant at the Paris Games as well. She was assistant with the Boston Celtics, I think, in 1920 before going to Duke. Lawson will be the second Black woman to be the head coach of an Olympic team after Dawn Staley was there.
Yep.
As a player coach. So big thing for Kara. I think Kara is amazing. Sue Bird was a part of it. I say Sue Bird had a lot to do with this.
Yes, Sue Bird is kind of in the same position. Well, man, his name just slipped. The Duke legend that. Well, Lord have mercy. That's doing the men's USA. He's in. Sue Bird's in that position. Grant Hill. Thank you.
Grant Hill.
I'm trying to think of his name. She's in the same position that Grant Hill is in. Almost lost my train of thought there, guys. But I try to think of names. I'm not great with names. But anyway, Grant Hill is kind of the men's, like, in the lead for the U.S. Olympic teams, and Sue Bird is in that position for the women's. And she's the one that announced Kara Lawson today. Of course, if you don't know who Sue Bird is as a women's basketball player, shame on you.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, shame on you. But if you don't, go look her up. She was kind of good.
Yeah, go look up some UConn highlights.
Yeah, she was kind of good. I mean, just a smidge. I mean, just a smidge. But seriously, Kara Lawson has done a fantastic job, not only training, and being assistants and stuff at the U.S. women's level, but she's been at Duke for a few years now. I'm not exactly sure how many, but about 4 or 5, somewhere around there. She's done a fantastic job as the Duke head coach, taking that program up several levels since she took over, and they are consistently in the NCAA tournament now, a top 15, top 20, top 10 team year after year. And Kara's done an awesome job. And like you said, John, she played under Pat Summitt. She trained at Tennessee. And if you're a women's basketball player, listen, everybody knows I'm not a Tennessee fan, but if you're a women's basketball player, Tennessee is one of the premier, them and UConn is the premier programs, period. I mean, it's just, That's how it is. I remember, I'll give you a quick little story. Sarah Pickett played at Tennessee the last couple of years. Sarah Puckett, not Pickett, Puckett. Sarah Puckett played the last couple of years at Tennessee, and I got a chance to interview her last year after a game. And I asked her this question. I said, how does a girl from Muscle Shoals, Alabama, wind up as a Tennessee Vol? And Sarah looked at me and she said, it's the Tennessee Lady Vols. And I said, yeah, you have a solid point there. I mean, so even me, you have to admit sometimes the Tennessee Lady Vols is one of the premier programs, and Kara played great, trained under Pat Summitt, and she's done an excellent job. Like you said, John, she even coached with the Boston Celtics as an assistant. So I just want to give a big congrats to Kara Lawson here from College SportsCast. That is a huge, huge honor. And I want to see you put together a fantastic team for 2028, which will be in Los Angeles, by the way. The Olympics are set in 2028 in Los Angeles. So it'll be on American soil, and I do truly want to see us bring home a gold medal.
Here comes my favorite part of the show.
All right. This is a good part of the show. This is fun. So we always end our shows here at the Big Fuss Show. We always end with the good, the bad, and the ugly. So This is from week 4 of college football. And we're going to start with the good, John.
I'm going to go Texas Tech. They went big on 21 transfers this offseason, brought in a top-ranked group. Joey McGuire built –
What's up, Howie Fresh? Appreciate you stopping by.
Built a really good team here. They're a major contender, Brad, if not probably the favorite in the Big 12. The Iowa State, is probably in there with them. This is their first 4-0 start since 13. Morton, now he did get hurt in the third quarter, but the Will Hammond kid came in and took care of business down the stretch. Their defense played really well throughout. Utah just absolutely collapsed in this game as it got towards the end. And I think McGuire's team looked really, really good. My other good, let's see. I'm going to say Michigan. Going into Nebraska and doing what they did, Justice Haynes had a big game. They played hard-nosed, old-fashioned run the football. That was a heavyweight game, Brad, that they won. It was the 18th consecutive loss for the Cornhuskers to a ranked opponent.
I was kind of hopeful that they were ready for the big show, but they slipped up and wasn't quite ready.
Now, I will say credit to Poggi, Biff. Him and Saban have a little smart mouth to each other earlier in the game, but he had a good game plan in there. I thought, Nebraska had ample opportunities to score. They didn't make plays when they needed to, and Michigan did. And I think Michigan deserves my good for the week after all they've had to endure this season. They've went through some rough stretches. So that's my 2 good for the week. And I'll let you go to your good.
All right. So, the good for week 4 of college football, unfortunately, and we didn't get to this, but unfortunately, one of my goods is going to be Oklahoma, but news come out today that John Mateer is going to have surgery. So even though in week 4 it was a big game, Auburn came to town. I thought it was one of the bigger games of the week. And their former quarterback, Jackson Arnold, come to town in Norman. They did get the win 24-17. There was some controversial calls in this game. But the truth is, when they needed a drive with a broken hand, by the way, John Mateer led a drive to secure the win, 4-0 for Oklahoma.
The kid is absolutely tough as nails.
Yeah, with a broken hand. I'm serious. He led them on a drive to win this game, 4-0. They are in a bye week this week. He is going to have surgery. I heard today, possibly 4 weeks.
That's probably putting him close to the Red River Shootout.
It probably is. I'm hoping the kid can get back because he has really turned around this Oklahoma team, and it's good to see the Sooners again. Like I said, with the ACC, it just seems like college football is better if the Oklahoma Sooners are good. So that was one of my other one. I'm going to go back to the well here and say the Miami Hurricanes. They manhandled Florida. And I'm talking the line. I mean, Florida's defense, even though their offense is not great, Florida's defense is really kind of stout and really good. And I thought Miami pushed them around all day long on the line of scrimmage. They ran the ball down their throat. They put up 26 points on this Florida team, won the game 26-7. Carson Beck still looks great. Miami looks great. I'm going to be honest with you. If you look at their resume so far, they might be the best team in the country. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think they are down the road, but if you look at week 4 and look at their resume, they might be the best team in the country. All right, John, what's your bad?
There's a couple. I'm going to go Tulane Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Let's be fair. They haven't really beat the teams like South Florida has. Now, they do have a few wins over Northwestern and Duke, but things didn't go good. Trinidad Chambliss had a big game for Ole Miss. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, it's probably a quarterback battle now. Coach John Summerall is a great coach. They're going to be right in the mix with USF in Houston. He's going to be a hot topic going into the coaching vacancy later at the end of the year. But Tulane was just not prepared for this game and what Lane Kiffin threw at them. They're a quality team. They just aren't. To me, they're just not ready for the big show yet. And that proved Saturday night. What Ole Miss did, it was just up and down the field all night long, and they just could not stop them. Unfortunate. And my other bad is probably going to be South Carolina. A lot of people had this as a trendy pick to make the college football playoff. All those talks of, hey, they're going to make the playoffs and they're going to do this, they're going to compete. That's went out the window. You lose to Vanderbilt at home. They had no answers from Missouri. Hardy, Ahmad Hardy. I'm going to tell you something. He's a Heisman. He's a Heisman getter.
He needs to be on the good for sure.
What's going on in the world of sports in South Carolina? right now.
I don't know,
Clemson,
but that's one I'm fixing to get to here in a second. I can tell you that.
That's my other one. My bad was Clemson. I don't know what's going on.
Me either.
You know, this was supposed to be Clemson's probably their best team since Trevor Lawrence.
They were a college football playoff team that had a lot returning and preseason top 5.
This could be Clemson's worst team since Dabo Swinney got there.
They got the Florida State Seminole syndrome going on.
There's something not clicking with this.
There is something in the ACC waters, what I'm telling you.
I don't know what's going on in Clemson, but there's too much talent on this team for them to fall apart like this.
I don't know, man. Here's my thing. All right, my bad. I'm going to get to something. I'm going to say this flat out. Dabo Swinney, you got to shut up, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, the bad to me is what you keep saying in these press conferences. I mean, after the first game, you talk about how we only played at 58%, and then you're talking about these teams like win. That's what we do is win. Talking about leading up to this game, I think against Syracuse, and I mean, just shut up, get your team prepared, and go play football.
He's built a standard at Clemson. And now that's their expectations, and he's not living up to it.
The reason why I'm putting this in the bad is what he is doing and the way he is operating and saying in his press conferences. It just plain and simple looks bad. You look bad.
I agree. You know, now, granted, Syracuse is not a bad team. I mean, they're probably middle of the pack, ACC.
Tennessee handed them a pretty good beating.
Well, they had an onside kick. They got an onside kick. I think they fumbled in their own territory, had 4 turnover on downs, had an interception. What I don't understand is, where is Cade Klubnik at? Like, where is his head at? Like, where?
I don't know. I'm going to get to that in the next segment. I'm just going to be honest with you. But here's the deal, man. Seriously, Dabo, you just simply look bad. And you need to shut up, get your team prepared, and go play ball. My other bad is this. There's been an awful lot of buzz, a lot of stuff being said about SEC officiating. And
I knew you was going after that
from Auburn, okay? I'm going to throw it out there from Auburn, okay, that indicates they want to indicate that they lost that game because of officiating. Here's my bad. Jackson Arnold was sacked 10 times, and they had 10 offensive penalties in this game against Oklahoma. I hate to tell you guys something, but 20 negative plays on offense is not good. It's pretty bad.
It's a recipe for disaster. Honestly, they had 10 sacks.
Yes.
They pressured him from every angle. Now
they gave up 10 sacks in one game.
Auburn didn't lose this game. John Mateer won this game.
But I'm just saying, listen, the refs, I understand there was a play or two that probably shouldn't have happened. Even the SEC come out on Sunday morning and said there was a play that was called wrong that should have been different.
It was an Oklahoma touchdown when Oklahoma faked a substitution, allowing the receiver to
That
score
doesn't
uncovered.
mean that it wouldn't have happened on the next play, that they could have scored or got a first down. Who knows what would have happened? But what I do know is this: 20 offensive negative plays is bad.
Well, and two, Auburn had the ball trailing by 5 in the final minute. Like, they could have went down and scored and didn't.
I'm just saying, sometimes you got good and sometimes you got bad. That's bad. So let's
All right.
move on to the ugly, because there's also some ugly going on in college sports as well.
I'm going to say my ugly is Arkansas.
Boy, poor Sam Pittman.
2 weeks, Brad, in a row. Arkansas was going down the field for a go-ahead drive, and they just stopped dead in their tracks, and they said, well, you know what? We're going to fumble it again. They went to Memphis. They led most of the game. Mike Washington fumbled the football inside the 1-yard line, and Memphis went down the field and scored and pretty much won the game. It's just another example of Sam Pittman taking jaws from the victory of defeat. Pittman's seat is hot. It's hot. I'm telling you, it's like a burning stove right now. And
There's a few of them. One of them got axed today is Gundy, but there was 4 that I could think of this morning. I thought of this morning when I was trying to put this show together. There was 4 coaches and 4 names. I thought, man, they could be fired at any time.
I'll tell you another one. Wisconsin, Luke Fickell.
That's
Saturday.
That's number 2. That's 2 of them.
That Saturday was absolutely atrocious. They got blown out by Maryland, okay?
Yeah.
They was hollering to fire him at halftime, the fans.
Yep.
That's how bad it's gotten.
It's bad.
When you got alum and players calling for him to be fired, you know you got a problem.
I'm going to be honest with you. There are 4 places and 4 coaches across this country that, off the top of my head, that I thought of this morning, ugly. And I mean just downright ugly. Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State, who already got the axe today. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, who John just got through talking about, that looks atrocious, to be quite honest with you. Sam Pittman at Arkansas, and I hate to put him in that category. He's an awfully good dude. I have been around him a little bit. He is just an amazing guy to talk with. He loves people. He laughs. He's so personable. Like, you can just walk up to him. He's a great guy. And all the team, everybody loves him.
That don't win you ball games, though, Brad.
But, man, you've got to close out some wins in these games. And then the other one is Billy Napier. It doesn't get much uglier than this. I'm gonna give you a stat, John. Dan Mullen, his final record, this was after losing 3 or 4 games at the end. His final record at Florida was 34-15. Billy Napier's record is 20-22 at Florida with the Florida Gators. He is now 2 games under 500. 20-22. They fired Dan Mullen, and he went 34-15.
I'll give you 2 more uglies after this.
Is there something wrong with that picture, John? Do you smell something? Is there something burning? What's going on?
Yeah, it's not great, Bob.
I mean, how is he still there is what I want to know.
I don't know. You know, he had the run last year at the end Like he had where he won 5 in a row. Was it 5 in a row, 4 in a row?
I think
And it
it's
felt
5.
like it was 5, I think. And you felt like there was a little momentum with Billy Napier. They was getting to where they wanted to be, Florida. And then it just feels like the wheels have completely fallen off the bus this season.
Dan Mullen in his first year is coming back from 2 touchdowns behind and winning games at UNLV.
That should tell you something.
I'm just saying.
And my other ugly, I got 2. North Carolina Saturday. And it's not about Belichick, but
Don't even say it.
this
Come
might
on,
be the worst team in the ACC.
Stop it, John.
I'm sorry, man. I had and not even that.
Totally thought my mind went so. I thought you was going to go somewhere else with this.
Well, another viral picture went viral Saturday of Jordan and him talking on the sidelines. I want to know something. I ain't got nothing against her.
Oh, stop it! You're killing me over here.
I ain't got nothing against her or him, but when is enough, and to stop this train wreck?
I'm sorry. You're killing me.
I mean, they're being mimied every single weekend. Every weekend.
Oh man, like I'm not okay. I'm just going to drop it. I'm not going to go there for a couple of things, but man, my mind is going nuts on this. I mean, agree 100%. Please, for the love of God, get her away from the sideline.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say. And my other ugly.
For the love of God, get her away from the sideline.
And my other ugly is California Saturday night.
Yeah,
They had a little hype to begin the year. Okay, now they have their schedule's not great. They had a really good quarterback. He was a true freshman, I think. I can't Sagapotali or something. I ain't gonna butcher his name, but they lost 34-0 to San Diego State.
ouch.
That's ugly. San Diego
That
State.
that sounds like the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, you can put Dallas in there too, so it'd be about right.
No, Dallas at least scored.
Well, they at least scored, but I didn't mean to bring up the whole North Carolina, but at some point it's got to stop. Like, and I have nothing against him dating the girl. That's not my problem, Brad. My problem is she's getting too involved in the football, and she's getting
I
too
don't
much.
know if she's involved in the football. She might be asking him what he wants for dinner when the game's over with. I don't know what the crap she's saying and what she's involved with. But what I do know is keep her. Listen, she can't come up on the sideline like that. Keep her away. Why can't she use a phone like the rest of us and text somebody or text a guy that takes care of Belichick, and he comes up and tells him, oh, she says this or she says that, or just stay the hell away from the sideline. It's really not that complicated. I mean, damn, for real. You're bringing it on yourself, both of you. All the memes, all the jokes, and yes, I think they're funny. I'm not going to sit back and act like, listen, I'm not the one doing the memes. I'm not the one doing the jokes. I haven't put anything out there. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to sit here and tell you, I think they're damn funny. And guess what? I'm going to continue to think they're funny. And I'm going to continue to laugh about it. If you're not smart enough and have the brain power to stop this foolishness and just get her the hell away from the sidelines. Period. It's really not complicated. It don't take a smart individual. And I thought Belichick was supposed to be really smart, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, Brett, you know, the relationship, I don't care about that. That's they can do what they want to do with that. It's the issue with the memes and the memes and the UCF poke fun at them after the game, you know, with the score. I mean, it's getting ridiculous, to be honest.
How many other – listen, do you see wives walking up to coaches on the sideline, whispering in their ear? Do you see that?
Not many. Now, I've seen Nick Saban, his wife, come on the sidelines quite a bit, but she has a lot to do with the team. And
wait a second. She was never up next to whispering in his ear and stuff like that.
But she was on the – he would hold her hand when he walked out. Like,
I mean, come on. You are a head coach of a damn ACC school or NFL. No wonder they got rid of your ass. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I mean, Lord have mercy. Do you not have people around you that like take care of your phone or some shit while you're coaching? I mean, hello. It's year 2025. Maybe you've heard of technology. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, you've heard of texting somebody. I don't know. I mean, just wake up and smell the coffee, Bill. Shit. I mean, for real. That's all I got to say about it. I mean, Lord have mercy. It don't take a genius. It really don't. And blame this rant on John for bringing this shit up.
Yeah, blame it on me. Put it all on me. But to kind of back off that, I'll have a stand-in for me Friday night. I just want you to know, I will not be here. I will be at a football game about an hour and a half away. So I just want you to know, Friday night I will not be on the show.
All right, man.
And I hate it because this is the biggest week in college football. There's a lot of great games.
There is a lot of great games Friday night.
You know, Pulaski County plays South Warren. It's probably one of the biggest games in the high school circuit this week. So I decided to go see one of my buddies. His son plays for Pulaski, so I'm going to go over there and watch him play. So hopefully I can get the stand-in to kind of stand in for me. If not, I'll find a way to get on, but it'll probably be late. So just want you to know.
All right, y'all. We're going to wrap this up. This has been long. There was a lot of stuff to get to.
I just wanted you to know ahead of time so you could prepare. So
all right. I'm gonna wrap this up. Go to Homefield Apparel. Check out Homefield Apparel for some cool retro tailgating gear. Use our code CSCast. Check out the Real Fresh channel. He was here, made a comment. I did put his logo up in the right corner for just a minute, just so you guys would know that was Howie Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Check him out. Stadium Rant as well. Check them out.
That's going to be a good short. That's going to be a good short about Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All right, Wildcat Weekly. We've had 3 weeks and 3 guests. We're running pretty good with Wildcat Weekly. Check out these new great shows with super guests. We had Kentucky linebacker Lamont Smith on this past week. Asia Thigpen, volleyball player, current volleyball player, on the first show. And the second show, we had Alan Cutler. the legend Alan Cutler on. So check all of those shows out on Monday nights. And from there, John, we're going to wrap this up and we're going to say goodnight from the Big Fuss Show. This has been week 5 of college football.
Yep.
And we will see you for Game Day Pick'em. Y'all have a good night.